This morning.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I like to hear. I love it. After last night, I don't know about you, but I want that at point. You go, girl. You go. I had up until last night, I had a chance to visit. First of all, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. You got a great leader here. That term is thrown around. Oh, it's a great leader. Seriously, you've got one of the few guys in our party in this era who understands what this is about. The nature of the battle that we're engaged in has been exhibited not just by the Democrats, but by the media. We're fighting a war on two fronts, folks, and it's important to have leadership that understand that aspect of modern day politics, if you want to call it that. So thank you. Sir. And I'll be following you in and out of the studio because you're doing it the right way. But anyway, I was yesterday had the opportunity to go down and visit a number of delegations, and I was really angry for most of yesterday because I watched what the media had done in the 5 days since Sarah Palin had been identified, selected by our nominee, John McCain. And I realized that this woman, this hockey mom, this governor, had more scrutiny in 5 days than Barack Obama had in 19 months.
Yeah.
And it just takes me off. So it dawned on me because I know Sarah and I've gotten to work with her and over the past and see her in action, and it just I had a little flashback to that infamous vice presidential debate with Dan Quayle when he had his comeuppance with Lloyd Bennett, and I kind of it hit me that I know Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin is a friend of mine. You don't want to mess with Sarah Palin. She really did. She hit a home run. She hit it out of the park. And I think America saw what some of us who've worked with her have known and seen, but certainly something that John McCain saw and realized he really needed and wanted on his ticket. And that is someone who really represents in so many facets of her life the American dream, the American possibility, the American opportunity. Because as I noted, as a mom, starting out and raising her family, being involved in the lives of her kids, and then taking that involvement and translating it because she wants something more for them in the future into public action by running for city council, running for mayor, and now being the governor of her state, I think is a phenomenal story. And it's such an important story. And for the press to belittle it, to undermine it, to demean it, tells us all we need to know about the state of this race and what we're up against, and why it's going to be so important for all of us to get out there and fight hard. You talked about my being a gentleman. Well, there are days when I'm not. And this is certainly one of those days and one of these times where the gloves have to come off, and we have to be prepared to fight. A lot of that gentleman quality I got from my mother, Maybelle, who was a native of South Carolina, born in St. Matthews, raised in Orangeburg. I spent every summer of my life between the ages of 5 and 18 in Orangeburg, South Carolina. So I appreciate those hard-fought, well-worn values that are so important to grounding an individual and getting them ready for life's ups and downs, ins and outs. And I got a sense of that yesterday from listening to Governor Palin talk to us. She didn't give a speech, she had a conversation. She let the other side, she really did. She let the other side know in her own plain spoken way, and I love the accent, I love that accent, right? In her own plain spoken way that she can't be trifled with. She's not going to be a pushover. This is a woman who took on a corrupt political establishment within her own party and said, this is not good government. This is not principled Republican leadership. And she won. And now we've got the dynamic duo of McCain and Palin bringing principled Republican leadership to the country with an idea and an understanding of how we got off track. You know, why we spent so much money, why we forgot those values, that the people entrusted leadership to us in 1994. And so I see the contract that we brokered with the American people at that time being re-honored, re-upped. And their leadership is going to speak to solid, responsible leadership. Fidelity to the trust of the people who've given us, through their vote, the opportunity to lead. And so now it turns to us. We come out of this convention after tonight. You better be prepared to work and work hard. Because as I know that we're fighting on two fronts here. This just isn't about Barack Obama and Joe Biden, and trust me, there's enough to go after there for a lifetime. This is also about watching our flank, watching, I think, a corrupt media. And so I'm encouraging you and I'm asking you to support the party, support the chairman in his efforts, support McCain and Palin in their efforts to win. What I do at GOPAC is I'm looking at the future of our party. I look at our grassroots. I'm looking at who among us will be the next Sarah Palin. Who among us will be the next John McCain? That individual is sitting in the state legislature in South Carolina. That individual is thinking about running for mayor of one of the small towns in South Carolina. And so what you're able to do to create that pathway so they can begin to emerge carrying very high that Republican banner, very proudly waving that Republican banner, is going to be very important. And it begins now. It begins now. I don't care how Republican you think your state is, or how Republican you think your district is, or your county is. These times are changing. And we have seen just in this year alone, Republicans lose races in Republican districts to Democrats, who've been all gussied up to look like Republicans.
Right.
And so we've got to show the true side of ourselves. Be proud of who we are. Be proud of the history of this party. The party that freed the slave, emancipated the vote for women, and created the foundation of civil rights in this nation. Period. No one else did that but us. No one else